Hi, today I have a message called Notice Today. Starting with expose the lies ego is suggesting to you. They are not your secret, guilty thoughts. They are the lies ego is suggesting to you. So, when we start to feel uncomfortable, our knee-jerk might be to focus on, like, I'm annoyed at something somebody else did, or I feel judgmental or angry about something, or I feel afraid of a consequence in the world, weather or road conditions or things that seem dangerous, fear of things that seem dangerous. But if we're very aware, before that knee-jerk happens, are our secret guilty thoughts. The qualities that we think, the more vocal others, the more the ones who seem to be on stage acting in big ways and shouting in big ways, somebody's demonstrating jealousy or rage or just general unpleasantness, like very openly, but over here we are not, right? We're polite, we're nice, but we have these thoughts. And so if we catch it before, kind of like the knee-jerk acceptable response comes out, like, well, I'm annoyed because that person's loud, we can find the hateful thoughts, the thoughts that if they were exposed in public, we'd feel guilty about. But there's nothing to be guilty about. So by exposing these thoughts, you see through the fiction of the separate self that went over there versus you. You start to see through the entire fiction of that. And that's why it's good to let these thoughts emerge, because as long as I see people over there seeming to do and say unpleasant, horrible things, I have thoughts over here that need to surface. Because why am I even having that experience of seeing that one over there in that form? There's something that needs to emerge in my mind. It needs to see the light of day. And so this is a very good process. So whenever there seems to be a problem over there, look here in the mind for any reactivity. Let the most ugly, hateful, jealous, wanting, demanding thoughts emerge, not because they're yours, not because they're true. They are not your thoughts. You are a thought of God, and the only thoughts that are your true thoughts are holy, loving thoughts. And that's true of every being. But what are we doing experiencing and seeing all these other things? Because we wanted something other than that. So we got it, right? And it lies in these false thoughts that are not the thoughts of any of us. But exposing each one to the light is the way to start to see through them and to see that no one has any reason for guilt ever. That separates us out, and it puts pressure, undue pressure on one, because we're trying to get rid of our pressure over here and then judge somebody else, put the pressure on them. Whereas when we just rest together and what we are together, no one's pushing or pulling, trying to get rid of our own pressure, trying to impose pressure on someone else. No one's doing that, or even trying to impose it on yourself. If there's or if there are self-abusive thoughts that judge the separate you, we do that trick too. And it's all about pretending separation is real when it isn't. So as much as you can fully expose the ugliest thoughts, and I'm sure I say the same thing from time to time, it really is to your advantage, because it's not your actual thought. You have nothing to hide, you have nothing to be guilty about. It's just thoughts the ego must send us, and we must believe in order to experience strife, in order to experience irritation, annoyance, fatigue, physical illness, physical discomfort of any kind, aging. In order to experience aging, I have to, it's a requirement that I believe fearful thoughts, angry thoughts, vengeful thoughts, jealous thoughts, all the not good feelings, that I believe thoughts from ego that cause these feeling states. And of course I experience physical discomfort, and of course I experience not good feelings, and of course I've experienced aging, of course I've experienced all of these things. And the requirement in order to experience all of that is that I believe these thoughts that have never been my thoughts and never will be my thoughts. And the way out is to expose them. And you can do this very quietly. You might want to do it with a partner. You don't have to. You can do it seemingly by yourself because you're never alone. Holy Spirit's here to take away the fear and pain from your mind. So all you have to share with all the other minds is just what you are, is love, is peace, is joy. But this exposure piece is important. It's like taking out the garbage. How are you going to clean your house if you never take out the garbage? It makes it very difficult. And what we call politeness is it's not really a natural flow, is it? It's something we learned. So we suppress all the ugliness and we learn how to act on top of that in pleasant, what we think of as supportive and kind ways. But all of the fake and learned kindness and happiness and joy, the fake joy, it all has to go. So our true expression of what we actually are, which is all good, nothing to worry about there, so it can come through and extend. So it seems we have a lot to get out of the way here, but really one ego thought is all ego thoughts. And as we start to work on this, we start to see our entire way out of all of this for all of us. So it becomes from just being willing to look at one tiny thought, it becomes a very big, very healing thing for everyone. The lies other people seem to tell out there in time and space are of no concern. They are just a reflection of the ego lies you still believe. So let's say on the news someone's saying someone is lying, or whatever drama seems to be around you in the home, in the workplace, in your family, anywhere, in the neighborhood. The lies other people seem to tell out there in time and space. It doesn't really matter. It's just what you see when you look in the mirror. You see you. And if you ever feel not good in any way, if you've experienced any degree of aging, which is funny because like you're not still an infant, so obviously you have, but the aspects of it that we think would be a deterioration, right? If you've experienced any of that at all, and you show physical evidence of it, if you have any physical injury, if you've ever experienced the tiniest whisper of physical illness, if you ever experience physical fatigue, of course that's all of us. I'm being so comprehensive as to be ridiculous. Of course it's all of us. Pick every single guru, okay? Everybody we would elevate. Of course they experience this on a regular basis. Of course they do. Pick every single one we'd condemn, especially the very worst of the worst. Of course they experience this just like you. They're just like you. All of them. The ones that seem to be highest and the ones that seem to be lowest. They're all just like you. So now we can come back to I'll keep my nose in my own business. What is my experience today? How do I feel today? Nothing's more important than how I feel, and that's not selfish, because I have nothing to give you if I'm not responsibly addressing moment to moment how I feel. I have nothing to give. So it's not selfish for your top priority to be how you feel. Because being aware of how you feel, you can put yourself in the position where you can be inspired to be helpful, both to yourself and to those you call other. But in my experience, when I think I know, when I'm following ego's instructions about what I need to do for others and how to be helpful for others, I'm always wrong. So on this journey, I'm wrong a lot. And putting my top priority on how I feel helps me find all of the lies. If I ignore how I feel, and it doesn't matter if somebody out there is telling lies, If I ignore how I feel, I'm ignoring the lies I've been allowing myself to believe. And those are the most important lies to address. Those are the ones we can address today. They're very close to home, and we're all fully capable of addressing them. So all we have to do is find them when we don't feel good. What's one thought I believe? And then I'll set it down, and then I'll remember. Father, my freedom is in you alone. My only freedom is in you alone. And if that language is creepy, used to be creepy to me, I'd say freedom is here for everyone now. The freedom we share is the only true freedom. And it's not time and space freedom. That's it. Just reorient toward what is, even if it's not apparent. Our true nature, even if we're not allowing ourselves to experience it or to see it everywhere, is freedom. And I'm certainly capable of tuning into that for a moment. Interrupting ego's flow with something else. It's not something that opposes ego. It doesn't oppose ego. It just doesn't recognize it. But when I recognize it, when I recognize our shared freedom, that which never recognizes ego, then here I am with it, as it, seeing it in you, being willing to allow our shared freedom to extend through you, through me, through everyone, to be threaded through every experience I have today, through every thought that occurs to me. And all I have to do is to keep returning to this place. Okay, consider a thought that seems to place blame on you, such as I caused this, when we feel guilty. The I that the weight is being placed upon is not you. Isn't that interesting? Notice when you feel guilty. And remember, the I that this weight, something's closing in on you, is being placed upon, that isn't you. Isn't that interesting? And if it isn't you, what is you? Don't even try to answer that question. Just by seeing, oh my goodness, that isn't me. And returning to this place and noticing and noticing and noticing. Then here's where the inspiration can reach us. Inspiration to respond appropriately to whatever seems to be going on. When we realize this weight that seems to be converging in upon this one, this guilt, you caused this, I caused this, that I isn't me, and never has been me. I am expansive, I am joined with everyone and everything, I am joy, I am peace, I am joined in harmony with everyone and everything forever. And that's the truth of us. Even though we're seeing and experiencing all this stuff that seems to oppose it, that's the truth of us. It's like a radio station. We stop to tune into that, recognizing this is my sanity. This is the radio station that I want all my thoughts to come from, as far as what to think, which causes what I perceive myself and others saying. And what I think, what I believe, causes perception in time and space of what I believe, what I see others and myself doing. So it's really important to come back to this place and to rest and to be inspired from here and to have this place pointed out to me again and again and again and again. When you set down a thought that seems to have plagued you for centuries, it is a great relief. So what's in store for us today? Great relief that we can share. What's in store for everybody today? Great relief. If we're going to a place or engaging in an activity today, what's going to happen? Great relief. For you, yeah. For everyone, yeah. Great relief. That's the only thing that can happen. When we find the problem, let go. Find the problem in our own mind, the lies we tell ourselves. Let go and let everything stream from there. Great relief. That's it. And it's good to notice a not good feeling, because here is the exact pointer to a thought that's plagued you for centuries. Just for a moment, very lightly, okay? We'll try on the hat. Even you don't have to believe in any of this. You don't have to believe that you have past lives, and you don't have to believe that you don't have past lives. But just for a second, we'll try on the hat very lightly that you keep recycling and you keep having successive lives. So you've been telling yourselves the same big fat lies for centuries. And of course, when you finally let go of one, it's a great relief. So this is what's in store for you and everyone today, just because you're willing to pay attention to how you feel and to find one of those lies that you've been telling yourself for centuries about others, about things, about you, about time and space trajectories. If it doesn't feel good, it's a centuries-long lie. And what's just behind it, instead of feeling like the great pressure of holding on to the lie, think of the vastness and the openness and the peace and the joy of being free of the lie. Ego will tell you you need the lies to understand things, to analyze things, to give them meaning, to enjoy things, to keep you safe, to keep others safe. But the thing about ego is that it's always wrong. And when you don't feel good, you're believing one of these centuries-long, millennia-long lies that can go today. So that's what's good about today. What's good about today is all the lies that can go and all the great relief that can be shared. Notice today all the significance you put in stories. So that's a weight. W-E-I-G-H-T. It's a weight, it's a pressure. When we think this story means this and this story means that. Notice that you can't be angry without a story. But you can be joyful without a story. You can't be annoyed without a story. But you can be peaceful without a story. So today is when every sentence in any story that's a lie can get exposed and can be lifted up and float away and disappear, leaving behind only what we truly need, what others truly need. Anything that isn't needed here can go. And when I feel a heaviness or a tension, I put significance in a story. A story is made up of sentences. And I can find one sentence that doesn't feel good. That is not a hard thing to do, especially when you train in it and you practice in it. And when I acknowledge, even though I have experienced this in time and space, and I have time and space evidence to back it up, it's still a lie. Time and space was made for lying about what we are. Time and space indicates that death is real, and we keep experiencing it and believing we're bodies that die. Time and space was made for lying. But here we are as truth, connected by truth. So truth can also be allowed to shine in our experience of time and space. Time and space can now be employed by truth, on behalf of truth, on behalf of the remembrance of truth. So what's going to happen today? Remembrance of truth, not time and space truth that would set people against each other and make some right and some wrong. Universal truth. True truth, actual truth. That's what today is for the revelation and the sharing and the remembering of that. So we don't have to worry about time and space truth. Because we are actual truth. And we're joined by actual truth. And as we allow it, actual truth can step forward and guide everyone today in all of our experience. So we're in very good hands. We can notice today. We can notice where we're believing lies and set those down and reorient. And we can notice that we're all loved, all blessed, all possessing the power of blessing, and all in very good hands. Okay, thank you.